Okay, what's going on, everybody? We are here. We are live. I want to thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and most importantly, please make sure you are following me on Telegram. I cannot beg of you guys to do that enough. Please, Telegram, Telegram, Telegram. The link to my Telegram's in the description box below and will be pinned in the comment section once the stream is over. And it's pinned in the live chat right now if you're watching this live, which some of you are. Obviously, if you're following me on Telegram, you never have to worry about not getting a notification, YouTube all of a sudden unsubscribing you, and all the social media foolishness. Okay, that helps to go around social media censorship and shadow banning. So please follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. And with the introduction out of the way, let's get the stream started. Let's get it moving and rolling. So the collapse of the DNC continues, right? And I feel like we're going to be making these videos for weeks and months and years to come, right? Because I don't see them recovering anytime soon. This past weekend, it was big news because new CNN polling had came out and new NBC polling had came out, showing that the Democrats are experiencing a new record low ratings, right? Approval ratings, right? But as you all know, for me, before we get into the CNN and the NBC polling and everything that comes after that with Jasmine Crockett and the Democrats and yada, 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 I do have to make sure to pull up this video here because, though a lot of people are referencing the NBC and CNN polls, I'm always going to reference, I believe it is called the Quinnipiac polling, right? Is it Quinnipiac? Yeah, Quinnipiac polling, which show that the Democrats have an approval rating of 21%, because I believe that that is the most accurate approval rating of the Democrats, which is 21% by the Quinnipiac approval rating. And I want to play this quick clip right now from CNN where they discussed that approval rating, because the way that they articulated it, it was just very funny. It was kind of humorous, what the CNN analyst was saying. And it just helped to provide a little bit of humor before we go further down this live stream. So let's get into this right now. I want to play this clip first, and then we'll get things really moving with the approval ratings from CNN and NBC.
I'm a big fan of the oldies, and when it
Oops. Okay, there we go.
comes to the feelings that Americans, voters at large, and Democrats have, I can't help but think of Chubby Checker. Why is that? Because the question is, how low can you go? Voters' views of Democrats in Congress, the lowest ever approval ratings on record per Quinnipiac University. Look at this. Approve 21% among all voters. Look at the disapprove level. Holy Toledo, 68% of all voters disapprove of how Democrats are doing in Congress. Now, you might think that is low, and this is the lowest number on your screen here down at 21%. But I want to bring you over here to how Democratic voters feel, because this is truly unbelievable. Amongst their own party, how do Democratic representatives, senators, how are they viewed? Get this, the plurality disapprove at 49%. More Democrats disapprove of the job that their party is doing in Congress than approve. Get this, only 40% approve. These are truly horrific numbers. They are in the trash bin of history. That is how low these approval ratings are. When you can't even get plurality approval among your own party, you know you're doing something wrong in the eyes of the
Holy Toledo. Holy Toledo. The Democrat approval rating is in the dumpster bin of history. It's in the dumpster bin of history. Like I said, I really just wanted to play that because I found that humorous, and I see some of you guys found that humorous as well. Just the way that he was articulating it. It was real funny. But, let's really get into what I want to discuss, right? Concerning the CNN and NBC polls, right? Because there's a lot to actually unpack just concerning the excuses that are being made for why this is, right? So as you can see, Democrats' approval ratings sink to historic lows amid infighting. Democrats have become so unpopular that more Americans believe that aliens are among us than agree with the Democrat Party. Dems are now held in lower esteem than lawyers, undertakers, and car salesmen. The two punishing new polls released Sunday show that the party has hit historic new lows in approval rating nationwide, with just 27% of Americans saying they like the job Democrats are doing, according to NBC News. A CNN poll put their favorability rating at 29%, the lowest rating in the 33-year history of the survey. 54% have an unfavorable view. And neither of those polls take into account the party's latest meltdown. And I think that that is huge, that these polling numbers came out and it's not taking into account the recent, Chuck Schumer Senate Democrat meltdown, in which, Senate Democrats, at least 8 of them, I believe it was 10, if I'm not mistaken, voted for the spending bill put forward by Donald Trump. It's not taking all that into account. So if you really think about it, once they take that into account, these numbers should actually sink even lower, right? But let's stick with the CNN number right now. The CNN polling number shows that Democrats have an approval rating of 29%. Now, recently, Jasmine Crockett was on CNN. They asked her about these numbers, and I just want you to hear what she has to say, because the hypocrisy and gaslighting is unbelievable in their inability to be able to take accountability for the fact that their party is failing and failing miserably. And as it's failing and failing miserably, they're claiming victories that aren't even actually happening. And they're victories that apparently the American people, we just don't know about and we just don't understand, but they're getting all these victories for us. And because we clearly don't see and understand what's really going on, that's why their approval rating is as low as it is. So let's get into this right now. I want to pull her up on a screen right now. And if you haven't already, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and follow me on Telegram. Let's get into this.
You and I both know that this administration could care less about whether or not they violate the law. We know that we've had to rely heavily upon the courts. And I want to say, as you're talking about the polling on my party, I want to say that it is the Democratic attorney generals and some governors that are standing up against this administration and bringing those lawsuits and winning every single time. They are losing in court. Could we do a better job of making sure that the American people know that we are winning in the courts? We probably could. But at the end of the day, it's still Democrats that are winning for the American people.
That's a lie, and that's not rooted in any type of fact, what she's saying right now. Everything that she stated just now is empty rhetoric, that the Democrats are winning in the courts in every way, and that the American people just don't understand that the Democrats are still winning for us, right? Despite the fact that their approval rating is at a record low. Concerning her saying we're winning in the courts being empty rhetoric, once again, there's no data, there's no facts, there's nothing that substantiates what she's saying as being true in that regards, right? On a week-by-week basis, because so many lawsuits and so many radical left-wing activist judges are blocking things that Trump is trying to do, on a day-to-day basis, you can look at the latest headline online and you'll see big win for Trump, big win for Democrats, big win for Trump here, or big win for Democrats there. And it swings like a pendulum going back and forth based on the fact that we'll go like this. Trump signs an executive order for the Aliens Enemies Act. The judge temporarily blocks it. A federal judge in New York, right? Obviously a Democrat judge, Obama appointed judge to be exact, because that did happen. Jasmine Crockett will claim victory. Then that goes to trial. Trump wins the trial concerning being able to swiftly deport illegal aliens that are part of gangs, right? So then that goes into the favor of Republicans. Trump is winning in the courts. Then what happens? Democrats appeal it. They win the appeal process. Democrats are winning in the courts. Then it gets kicked up to the Supreme Court. You get what I'm saying? Then the Supreme Court kicks it and doesn't make a final judgment on it, but they'll kick it back down to the lower courts. And then the new trial starts. You get what I'm saying? This stuff goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So my point is that there is nobody winning or losing in the courts. What she's saying isn't true. And it's not based on anything, and it's not rooted in anything. And now what she's going to do next, as she continues talking, you're going to hear the hypocrisy in what she just stated when she says they're winning in the courts. Now listen closely to what she's getting ready to say next.
Some progressive groups are calling for new leadership in the Senate for Democrats. Even House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, your leader, he was asked if he supports Schumer as leader of the Senate Democrats, and he said, next question. Do you think Senate Democrats should replace Chuck Schumer?
I think Senate Democrats have to sit down and take a look and decide whether or not Chuck Schumer is the one to lead in this moment.
You're close with Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York. Some of your fellow House Democrats say and not just progressives, by the way. We've heard that moderates have said this too, that they're ready to support her to challenge Chuck Schumer in a Democratic primary. Would you get behind that?
That's 4 years from now. If you were asking me at least in 2 years, then I would have an absolute answer. But I can tell you that there are a lot of people that are watching his leadership in this moment. This is the moment. We don't even know what elections will look like in 4 years, if we will have elections. And so I definitely think that...
Stop. We're done. We're done. Stop. Once they start talking like that, I shut down. I don't know what elections are even going to look like in 4 years, if we even have elections. Ooh, but that's the hypocrisy also. Then you just lie and say that you are winning all these court battles and you're winning in the courts, and everything that Trump is trying to do that apparently is, this dictator, tyrannical behavior. You're striking everything down in the courts and you're winning in the courts. You literally just said that. How can you say that we're winning in the courts and the American people just don't know and understand this? That's why we have a low approval rating, but we're winning on behalf of the people. Yet at the same time, you're telling us we may not have elections. And if we do, we don't even know what that's going to look like because Donald Trump's a dictator. They're just talking. They're literally just saying anything. And they're contradicting themselves with every breath that they take. Let me show you this here from Hakeem Jeffries. This is completely ridiculous. Watch this video here. I'm going to pull this up right now. Look at what Hakeem Jeffries is going to say. He's going to get up here and he's going to tell a bold-faced lie. He's going to tell a bold-faced lie about the economy and inflation, right? Look at this here.
We have the Republicans on the run on three different issues. We have them on the run with respect to the economy. Donald Trump and House Republicans promised that they were going to lower the high cost of living. But instead, costs haven't gone down. They've gone up. Inflation is going up. Why? Because Donald Trump and Republicans haven't been focused on doing anything to lower the high cost of living. Not a single.
I'm going to rewind that down just a little bit. For those of you who don't know what you're looking at the bottom, of where Hakeem Jeffries is talking, that graph down there, that's the inflation chart, right? So as he's saying, inflation is going up and Trump is losing on that front. The reality of inflation, which is going down, is contradicting everything that he's saying. And he knows that he's lying. He's lying and he knows it. He's just not banking on you, knowing the truth.
Gone up. Inflation is going up. Why? Because Donald Trump and Republicans haven't been focused on doing anything to lower the high cost of living. Not a single bill, not a single executive action, not a single administrative order. We, as House Democrats, have to make sure we forcefully make the case to everyday Americans that we are trying to build an affordable economy. We know that costs are too high, and we know that people are struggling to live paycheck to paycheck, and that should never happen in the wealthiest country in the history of the world. We got to hold the line as it relates to the economic narrative, and we see that Trump's poll numbers are collapsing in that regard.
These are bold-faced lies this man is telling us. I want to take a moment for us to look at the inflation chart, right? Because I'll pull it up for you right now. It's from Trueflation, it's called. So let me pull myself down off the screen. Once again, hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. The link's in the description box below, and will be pinned in the comment section once the stream ends. Look at this here, right? Wait a minute, what's happening? Okay, there we go. So look at this here, all right? And let me go ahead and make this a little bit bigger and make this full size. So this is from Trueflation, right? You just type, Trueflation and Google, and this will pop up, right? So I want you to see this here. Let's go to Inauguration Day, January 20th, right? This is inauguration. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pull myself down completely because this is important. And I'll just make it completely full screen, right? So Hakeem Jeffries is a liar. Democrats lie. That's all they do. And that's why they're in shambles. And their approval rating is 21%, right? Not the 29% that CNN said and the 27% that came from NBC. But look at this here, if you can see where I'm at. January 20th, right? This is where the inflation was. From January 20th to the present day, inflation has steadily gone down. It dropped down a little bit. It stabilizes. It goes up a little bit, then drops down significantly. Then it stabilizes for a while, goes up a little bit, stabilizes again, and then drops down again drastically and significantly. And now it's trending back up just a little bit again. and I'm sure it'll stabilize out for a little bit, and then the trend of it continuously going down will happen again. Since Trump has been in office, inflation has gone down consistently and significantly. Yet you have Hakeem Jeffries on here literally lying to you, and spewing the same rhetoric that Jasmine Crockett, that we heard her say, that, you guys just don't know what's going on, right? You don't know. We're not promoting our victories, that we're winning all these battles for you in court. And that's why we have a record low approval rating. Trump is failing and inflation is high, and you just don't realize it, right? You just don't know. But the information is literally right in front of us. They're lying to your face over and over and over and over again. And as I round things out and I want to bring things to a close, I want you to take a look at this here. I want to pull this up on the screen right now. And this is something that Black Conservative Perspective pointed out in his video on this same topic. Let me show you this right now. Look at this here. Where is the screenshot at? So this is on CNN, right? On CNN, they were talking about this poll here. And it was a poll that came out from Quinnipiac, if I'm saying that name correctly. I always feel like I'm saying it wrong. But it was a poll that came out from Quinnipiac, right? That showed that 32% of the American people would have blamed Democrats if the government shut down. But then you see here, it says 53% of the American people would have blamed Trump or GOP in Congress if the government would have shut down. This right here is master manipulation. Okay, this is master manipulation, and this is something that was pointed out by Black Conservative Perspective, because you can't see it here, right? Because it's blurry even if you blow it up. But I'm going to show you the actual Quinnipiac poll numbers. What they did is that they combined two polling numbers together to create the 53%. And the actual poll that Quinnipiac did, that is not how it turned out. Because you can see there, they have an asterisk on the bottom where it shows 22% said Trump and 31% said GOP. Like I said, it's very blurred out. It's very blurry. So what I want to do is that I want to actually go to the actual poll. So let me drop this down for a minute and let me pull up the actual Quinnipiac polling numbers, right? So give me just a second while I get that for you. Get this out of the way. Okay. So it should be on your screen right now. All right. And just so you have proof that this isn't just like something that I made up, we'll scroll up real quick. And as you can see here, Quinnipiac poll, right? Quinnipiac University poll. And this is what they're referencing. Now let's go back down. Okay. I mean, these Democrats, they lie like crazy. Government shutdown. Congress must pass a new spending bill in order to prevent a government shutdown, which then must be signed by President Trump. Okay, got it. If a government shutdown does occur, 32% of voters say they would blame Democrats in Congress the most. 31% say they would blame Republicans in Congress the most. And 22% said they would blame President Trump the most, and 15% did not offer an opinion at all. The question was, do you blame the Democrats, the Republicans, or Trump? Overwhelmingly, you see here, the majority, or as most will say, the plurality, say Democrats at 32%. What CNN or DNN decided to do was combine two answers together, which was the GOP and Trump, to make 52%, to make it appear as if overwhelmingly the American people blamed it on the right. They blamed it on the Republicans, or they blamed it on Trump. But that's literally not true based on the polling. You're manipulating the polling numbers. You're combining numbers that aren't supposed to go together to create a bigger number to try to make the Democrats look good. These people are disgusting, man. These people are disgusting. Meantime, Trump is seeing all-time high numbers, right? He's seeing all-time high numbers. And I want to pull that for you up in closing as we round things out. Look at this video here. And the way that they're getting ready to describe this too on NBC, they're so salty about these numbers. But just check this out, and I'm going to explain what I mean by them being salty.
Mood of the country. This really jumped out. We asked folks, is it on the right direction or the wrong direction? That 44% you say right direction, that's up since November. And if that doesn't seem like a lot, the last time it cracked 40%, you got to go back to 2012. The last time it actually hit 44 or higher, January of 2004.
Stop right there. Americans believe, 44% say that we are on the right track, that America is headed in the right direction. That number hasn't been that high since 2004. What is that, if my math serves me correctly? And I'm horrible at math, by the way. I think that's 21 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. 21 years ago, right? The number hasn't been that high in 21 years. But nobody really wants to talk about that. Nobody really wants to talk about that. And I want you to see in closing how they try to throw salt on it, right? So I'm going to play it one more time and just listen to how they try to throw salt on this.
First of all, the mood of the country. This really jumped out. We asked folks, is it on the right direction or the wrong direction? That 44% you say right direction, that's up since November. And if that doesn't seem like a lot, the last time it cracked 40%, you got to go back to 2012. The last time it actually hit 44 or higher, January of 2004. So a lot of this is Republicans, but independents, that number is also up since the election on the direction of the country.
You see that? Well, a lot of that is Republicans and independents. It doesn't matter. They're trying to throw salt on it by saying that the only reason the number is up that high is because Republicans and independents. What does that even mean? The numbers are the numbers across the board. When American people had to take a poll on this, across the board, the plurality, which is 44%, the highest that number has ever been, the highest that number has been in 21 years, has stated that the country is on the right track. Why the number is the way it is irrelevant. You're telling me that it's because of Republicans and it's because of independents? That's irrelevant. That doesn't mean anything. They only point out something like that to downplay the fact that Trump is actually heading the country in the right direction, and everybody else feels that, yes, it is going in the right direction. Meanwhile, this is another DNC news outlet, NBC, is trying to throw salt on it to not make it seem like things aren't what they are as it pertains to the mood of the country and how people are feeling and how overall, generally speaking, people feel that we're moving in the right direction. Versus when Biden was in office and that number was at what? 27%. It's horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. You see all the excuse making these people are making. It's unbelievable. They're telling you, Democrats are telling you that they have victories that you just don't understand. They're lying to you and telling you that inflation is going up when it's going down. When you have news like this of, a record high approval as it pertains to the direction that the country is moving in. 44% of the American people say that we're moving in the right direction. That's the highest that it's been in 21 years. But we can't let it sit there. How do we throw salt on it? Oh, well, that's just because, the Republicans and independents. And like, what are you talking about? The numbers are the numbers. These people are pathetic. And these people are pitiful. And these numbers are going to keep dropping. Their approval rating is going to keep going down. And I just don't see them recovering, Democrats, anytime soon, especially when they continue to be as disingenuous as they are. Throughout this entire live stream, all I did was point out the hypocrisy and the lies, and it's right there for everybody to see. And I think that's the biggest problem that Democrats are having right now is the fact that everybody sees it. Everybody knows it. And they don't know how to combat it. The reality is that they just need to clean house altogether and just put a whole new crew of Democrats that they're putting at the forefront that are actually moderates, right? And running on a moderate platform. I believe that the days of the progressive left and, super progressive like the AOCs and Jasmine Crockett's, this is their final push. but I don't see it working. It's not going to work, and it's going to continue to collapse. And with all that being said, that does it for today's stream. I should be coming back again for another stream at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so look out for that. Once again, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you'll get that notification whenever when I do go live later on today. Like I said, I believe it's going to be 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to run it back on some more stuff, and make sure you follow me on Telegram also, right? That's extremely important so you won't miss those notifications. So hit the like button on your way out as you guys are leaving, and I want to read some of these super chats off because I don't exist without you guys' support. So let me get into it. My man Saul, who keeps my family fed and my stomach full, I appreciate you, bro. He said El Salvador president posted on X the new residents at the fancy prison, chain and shaved heads, some crimes against kids, some with crimes against kids. I saw that, and I actually posted that video in my Telegram group, right? I posted that video in my Telegram group. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, there were, you could say, the first wave of Terrain de Aragua gang members that were deported from America were sent down to El Salvador in their like insane maximum state prison that they have there. And they put together like a whole kind of, how would you say it? It's almost like a promotional video, but it was dope. I'm not going to play it here right now. It's like this dope kind of promo video of how it looked when they got there. They brought them off the plane. They shaved their heads off. They shaved their beards off, pulled their shirts up, started taking pictures of their tattoos, have them chained up, head down like this, dragging them into the what do you call it? Dragging them into the jail. It was actually really dope to see. It was really dope to see, and it's 1,000% what I voted for, man. It's 100% what I voted for. Shout out to my man Saul, who spun the block, ran it back. He said, HJ just said, Hakeem Jeffries just said, forcefully make the case. Yeah, they're forcefully making the case for everything, but they're failing every single time, literally every single time. Shout out to GJ, who said, thanks for not continuing the insufferable BS. Damn answer questions. Yeah, you just got to cut it off after a certain. It's really difficult to listen to these guys speak, especially when you're talking about Jasmine Crockett and AOC. They're definitely the two most insufferable. I can tolerate listening to Maxine Waters only because I find her funny and comical. When she speaks, it actually makes me laugh, despite the fact that I disagree with everything that she's saying. But it's just like, somebody come get their grandma, please. Can somebody please get their grandmother and just take her back into the house? So I can stomach Maxine Waters, but some of them are just truly insufferable, like AOC and Jasmine Crockett. It's hard to listen to them speak. At a certain point, you just got to cut it off. You just got to cut it off and move on. And shout out to my man, Rob, Blacklight Revelations. He said El Salvador going to have Terrain de Aragua, Terrain de mining Bitcoin. Yeah, man, he's gonna have them over there Terrain de mining Bitcoin. That's what they're gonna be doing over there. They're gonna be mining Bitcoin, man. That's exactly what they're gonna be doing. But anyways, that does it for today's stream. And to my man Fantees, I just wanted to answer your question because I did get your DM on Twitter. I haven't watched the Stephen A. Smith Tom Homan interview yet, but it's definitely on my to-do list. I will definitely be watching that. So anyways, I gotta head out of here. I got to get a haircut, so then, I'll definitely be doing the next stream without my hat, because I'll be feeling a little bit more confident in myself once I get my haircut. So let me get out of here. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Follow me on Telegram, and I will catch you guys at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to run it back today. I'll be back at 1 o'clock. So I'll holler at you guys later. Peace, and have a great afternoon.